we're back, which is nice. Only 30 minutes this time for the pre-stream, so that's not that bad, right?
Yeah, and I can hear you, by the way, Wyatt, so
Oh,
we are
perfect.
good.
We're good to go. Can you hear yourself?
No sound problems, maybe.
I think we should be.
I don't know. I didn't check.
Oh,
That would also
hold
be
on.
important.
Cool. We're testing.
Yeah, we do this all the time, so everyone's used to it. It's a staple.
Yes, this is our weekly ritual. Audio testing. It's great.
Let's turn off the music.
I can hear
for a
everybody
moment.
on my
Love
stream.
that.
I sound echoey because I don't have a good mic, but
It's
I can
not
hear
That's how it
everybody.
goes.
horrible. We've had a worse echo before. We should
Yeah.
be fine.
Yes, we have.
It's
Yeah,
fair.
we'll be okay.
Okay then. We're gonna start
hmm
with our character intros as usual.
Mhm.
And as you guys see, for me and the stream, I don't know if it's for you guys. Vahana is joining us today as a new character.
Yeah.
Might be sticking around
Exciting
for a while.
stuff.
So that's gonna be fun. Also, Teagle should be in this party, Alec, but he could make it, and it's probably going to be a couple times. He has some live stuff that's happening, so he might not be in some of our streams, which is perfectly fine. He will be back. He's not leaving us, so don't worry. We all know that we love the witty little
Yes.
gnome, so he
Mhm.
will be back.
Indeed.
Anyway, let's start. I don't know who said they're going first, so go ahead.
I am going first. Yeah, my name is Benjamin Amundsen, and I play Brayler the Wall, Goliath Paladin, Oath of the Shield Paladin. And Brayler's fun fact for today is the one thing that he has left from his mother, as far as written records, is he has her pie recipes. She loved to make fruit and meat pies, and she had an extensive cookbook, and that was the one thing he was able to recover as far as his mother's side. So yeah, he when he has time, he likes to bake pies and eat them. And yeah,
Expected of
Brayler is so
Braylor.
wholesome.
Yeah.
yeah, he's great.
Ben's
Makes
just gonna
me so
twist
happy.
it on us at some point in this.
I
He's just gonna
know.
go
The
super dark.
next time it's gonna be like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out.
Don't hurt me like that, Ben.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try.
No. Hi everybody. So, as Wyatt said, I'm Vahana, the person who has been down in the comments for the past year.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's been here.
It's been a bit.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
And
But
so I am playing Calypso Tysis, and Wyatt, do you want me to describe like who she is, or just give a fun fact? Or
yeah,
like
you can kind of
how-
describe her look, how you picture her, and then we'll take a fun fact because everyone's ever familiar with how Brayler looks.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Then
Mhm.
so Calypso Tysis, she is, let's see, I'm pretty sure I wrote down how tall she was. Maybe I didn't. But she's a pretty, I don't know, average height woman, mid-20s, probably early mid-20s. And well, I mean, in the way she looks, and she has long jet black hair. It goes down to her ankles, except for right at the roots of her hair. It almost looks like she has blonde hair growing out. And at the tips of her hair, it almost looks maroon or mahogany, but it's very close to black. And she wears clothes that would be similar to, like, you know, ancient Greek style, like the muses from Hercules. Picture
Nice.
clothing
Like a
like
toga.
that. Yes.
Cool.
Kind of like that. And she has red scars on her forearms. Just one big scar on each forearm. And she has freckles, so she has fair white skin, and then she has these light brown freckles all over her chest.
Nice.
And golden eyes. There we go. That's what I think.
Wow.
Everything.
Like solid gold eyes or golden iris
No, like
eyes?
like glowing bright yellow kind of golden eyes. That would
Oh,
be cool
dang.
if she had
Wow.
solid gold eyes, but no.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Pretty
Cool.
But yeah,
Fun.
so that's what Calypso looks like.
Nice.
She's probably around like 5'6", so like a really average height, human-looking person.
Nice.
And fun fact about her is, I guess we'll keep it simple. Her favorite flavor is strawberry.
Oh,
Mm.
of
She
everything?
loves like strawberry, like I think she loves like baked goods. So like this actually
Like a pie, for
goes along
example.
with Braylor's thing.
Wow.
But yeah,
Look at
she
that.
loves like strawberry baked goods.
Cool.
So
That's
yeah,
Okay.
fun.
Awesome. Everything strawberry.
everything
Everything
strawberry.
strawberry. Wow.
Fun. Also, I don't know if you noticed I added equipment for you in D&D Beyond. Just making sure that you've seen it.
Yes, I
Okay.
believe
Just wanted to make
you
sure.
can see it.
Perfect. In that case, last time we were with Braylor, I guess.
Yeah.
In the... I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of things at the same time. Let me turn off all the other things real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, in
Close
Saul's
all the
Vault.
doors in your mind
Yeah.
palace.
We were in
Yeah.
Saul's Vault. The party was
Yes.
currently searching for a cure to frigid woe that had been plaguing the continent of Wildmount, which I am happy that we're out of currently.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They've been looking for a way to fix it because it'd been freezing some people, and Braylor wanted to pay some debts to, emotional debts, not physical debts in any way, to some
Mhm.
families and some people that he had worried more than necessary.
No, to Braylor is very physical debts. That's the most debt he's ever had in his life. Was emotional scarring of a family. So, yeah.
That probably fueled the anger he had toward the Lich because you made very quick work of
Oh, yeah.
this
Uh-huh.
semi lich kind of. He wasn't. I didn't make him a
Demi
full lich
Lich.
because it was insane, but yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like a demi lich. He was a tiny guy who had extended his lifetime to many
Mhm.
lifetimes. Not quite
And
as
then
powerful,
it
but you
ended.
made very quick work of him. Killed him very fast.
Mhm.
The dwarf that we had fighting there as well did some kind of ritual that opened a portal to a new plane. A woman that you guys have seen many times before, and by many times I mean twice,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
maybe thrice,
Yeah, I think it was only
a
the
couple other
like
times.
unair one shots that we each did, and then
Yeah,
the first time we were in
yeah,
like that first city.
um, yeah. She shows up. She uses some kind of divine-looking power to grab onto the portal as it is starting to close, and pleads for your aid in the other world, where the dwarf had fled to with all of the studies that this lich had been working on, as well as some of the potions of frigid woe that seem to be more complete. Um, that happened after you guys sent Saffron back, though, right? Forgot about that
Yeah.
part.
I I don't know if I said this, but I imagine Braylor had um given all of his antidotes to her, so they would have as many as possible.
Yes.
But I also want to think that he kept at least one in reserve just in case one of the party members
I think you
came
guys
across it.
actually. I think you guys took. Oh, just in case for the next. Okay, that's a
Hmm.
good idea.
Yeah.
Smart, smart. I'll
So
let you do that.
there is an antidote in the pack saddle of my woolly mammoth,
Unless it broke.
Sounds like
unless it
what
broke.
Braylor would do.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So sent back Saffron, who we found out was Portia's mom, back to Serenlaya, with a lot of vials of the cure in order to, dispense them wherever they're needed to be able to rid Wildmount of frigid woe.
Yeah.
Feeling content with all of that, you were each able to plummet through this portal. You waited behind while the other three dove through head first. teleported away. You waited behind because Teagle was not quite there. The portal now becoming very, very straining to the entity that was standing in it. It began to close just as Teagle charged through the door on the back of your woolly mammoth. You commanded the mammoth through the portal and then dove through afterward, pulling the woman along with you. Now, landing on the other side, I'm focusing on Braylor here a lot, but that's because we need to.
No.
Landing on the other side, Braylor, you're in a back alley of what you can tell kind of by the sounds as you listen. Well, how often would Braylor have visited port cities?
Port cities probably never. He
Never.
was, he was located in a mountainous region, so he would have visited towns and stuff with the Ranger Corps. But you know, actually, no. I can't remember the very first town that we landed on. That was a port city. I
Oh, yeah,
think so. That
technically.
one, yeah, that one and Serenlaya are the only port cities he's ever been in. But
Very different port city would be that one.
yeah,
Anyway, in that case, you're not super familiar with it, but you hear, the sounds of birds, which, coincidental that I'm adding that right now, but I just
wow.
forgot about it. Sounds of birds,
No,
bustling of city
that was
streets.
thematic.
It sounds busy. It sounds like a large city, and you can tell that it is somewhere on the coast. You can smell the sea. You can feel the heat and the humidity that comes with coastal towns. I guess most of the smell that you'd get would probably be from your 12 days on the boat on the way to
Yeah.
to Islecoast.
And I imagine because Braylor had gone from one fight to another, just like constantly over the last 12 days.
Yeah.
And especially this last one, it beat him up very. He almost died and then healed himself back up. So he is very weary, like emotionally and physically, just trudging out of um, uh, this alleyway. I guess shaking off some snow that was still on his back, and I don't know, just
Yeah.
uh, taking off all the furs that I have on, stripping down to just my armor and different things.
Makes sense. It is significant. Well, I guess not significantly hotter anymore because I set off that devastation orb of fire in the other place, so it was pretty
Yeah,
warm there too. But it's
oh, that's right.
significantly.
Yeah,
It's probably cooler here technically, so it'd be relief from that last
yeah.
inferno that you guys were in. And
Is
where you land?
Braylor's never been around humidity, so
Oh,
it's messing with him pretty hardcore.
yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
Frizzy hair, can't breathe.
yeah.
Um, you kind of come to now figuring out kind of where you are. You look around and you do see Teagle and your Rameth. They made it through. You don't see Portia, 12 Thorns, or Coog. They seem to have either gotten here a ways before, they went through before and wandered off somewhere else, or you don't know, they could have been portal to some other place. You aren't
Yeah.
aware. All you know is you can't see them. The one person you do see who is new is the woman that you pulled through the portal. Um, as you were pulling her through, you kind of got a glimpse of what she looked like. On that side, she had wings. You saw there was a red aura starting to pull around her as well. When you pulled her through, now the woman that you stand before you does seem to be the same woman. The wings that were there have vanished, and she does look slightly different in the described form that we had from Hannah. What she told us is
Nice.
the woman who stands before you.
All right.
I leave it up to you guys what you actually want to do now, because all you know is you're in this big city. Well, actually, Calypso, you would kind of have. No, you know what? We'll leave it at that. You guys are currently in just a big city.
What
So
is
I
this place that we are in?
uh, who are you?
Ah, all right. Well, That's great. Um, I am a protector. My name is Braylor. Others have given me the moniker the Wall. As you can see, I am a big person and I carry around a shield, so it kind of is funny. But yeah, that's me. And I'm also nearly dead. So let's get somewhere we can rest and I can catch you up on things.
Um,
So
yeah, Calypso.
go ahead,
When he mentions his name and he tells you a little bit about who he was and what he's been doing, it does kind of come back. It's a little fuzzy, but you do start to kind of remember a little bit about what you were doing. Not enough to really figure out exactly why you're here or why you brought them here, but you do kind of remember Braylor now, and looking at Teagle, you start to remember him as well. It's might be a little bit fuzzy at first, but it is coming back.
perfect. So after Braylor's wonderful introduction, I think Calypso just immediately, obviously she's much shorter than you, but she'd come
Hmm.
around and like try and put her arm around you and like grab your arm and try and help you walk, even though she's probably not helping you at all.
Yeah.
She's most likely significantly weaker and smaller than you. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
Uh,
but yeah, so she'd try and help support you, and then, yes, yes, Braylor, I'm so sorry. I, I can't answer your question. I have no idea. There we are.
how is Calypso physically looking? Is she damaged much?
The portal wouldn't have done much to
So,
you, except for that red. That's new. Um, but other than that, there's no physical damage or anything like that to Calypso.
Okay.
I would
Cool.
say that she probably looked fatigued and foggy before you really talked to her. And when
Hmm.
she said, like, she asked you who you were, but then once you talked, she kind of brightens up and she's like, oh, yeah, kind of remembers, and she doesn't look as exhausted. So
I
she,
don't know if a port city is much of a place for a giant ram. Uh, I can dismiss my mount, but I don't
oh,
know. I think we need him for now.
would why don't you ride him? I mean, I don't
I
know if
don't
he
know.
has
Is it
transportation.
customary to ride? Yeah, I guess let's ride. I will ride.
I,
And I mean, when Braylor is on this ram, because the ram's a large creature, so he's probably uh, 8 feet off the ground anyway. So Braylor is like 12 to 13 feet off of the ground, like his head, very tall. He's like, I don't know how this will work, but we'll find out. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's
looking
go into the open.
looking around as you guys come out of the alley, there are other people riding mounts. Most of them are horses. Some of them are riding like uh, donkeys, but mainly they're more customary mounts that you would generally see. There might be like a random person you see off in the distance riding like a larger than average goat, um, but generally it's horses. So people look at you at first, um, but they're like, it's a normal mount. Um,
Okay.
you
Are
guys,
people intimidated by my physical size, or is it just like a normal
um,
thing?
no, they're not intimidated by you. Just you're not doing anything that would really intimidate them. They've seen Goliaths before.
Okay.
You don't see many around, but it seems like these people have probably seen Goliaths. It's not just like it's not a strange sight to them.
All right. Um, I Braylor will turn to Calypso, be like, I guess I would like to find a place to sleep or something first before we decide what to do.
Probably a good idea. Calypso's gonna look around for the closest person, who doesn't look like a scary person. So look around for the closest, like, normal looking person and walk over to them and ask where the nearest, like, inn or that kind of place would be.
Looking around, most of the people there are human. There's a couple of halflings mixed into the groups, but there's probably one particular man who's just like leaning up against a wall that's across the street from you, just kind of like relaxing for the day. Doesn't look like he's annoyed at anything. He just looks like he is having a good, calm day. If you approach him and ask him where the closest inn or place to stay is, he kind of just looks up for you for a second, just staring up at you from his chair, and then just shoots one of these and points across the street, and then like tips the hat back down and kind of like slumps back over like he's about to take a nap. If
Braylor is gonna flick over a gold piece to him, just like flick it into his lap, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, he looks up to you, gives you a nod. Not super talkative, it seems. Very happy about the gold piece. Tucks it away in a pocket.
Yeah.
Flipping around, there is on the corner there where you guys have that big building. You guys also should be able to move your shells if you want to. I'm just going to have Teagle follow you guys. I don't want him to get lost. That's not fun.
The map I'm seeing doesn't have any tokens on it or anything. No. It's like a wide view map.
Oh. You might want to zoom out a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. I take it back. I see us. Haha.
Is
Yeah.
this on
the
Roll
maps.
20?
Yes, it's on
Yeah.
Roll20. I made the maps way too big. Roll20 did not like them. But I need
That's
it
fine.
too big. So I need to
That's
find
great.
something else that can support bigger maps. Are you seeing it now, Hannah?
Yes.
Or
It
is
doesn't look like I can
Everyone's
move my
good.
character currently.
What?
Okay, I'm here. At least hopefully I'm here.
Yeah, you want to zoom out a bunch first, and then
Oh yeah, that's a huge map. Okay.
yeah.
I also can't move your character. That's not good.
Yeah.
They warned me
Well,
about
Braylor
this.
doesn't want to move.
They warned me. They said when I uploaded this map into Roll20, they said, just be cautious. Some really large maps may not like to load. And I was like, oh, it'll be fine.
It would be great.
It'll be-
I lied.
No, that's all right.
That's okay. Anyway, the tavern on the corner there,
Yeah.
which would be,
Mhm.
this is north. It would be like northeast is that direction.
Mhm.
And Calypso, you would know that. Just so you know, that's a thing for your character that you can remember. You know exactly what direction that is. Anyway, that is an inn. You walk around to the front of it. On it, it says that it is the Cat's Claw Inn. Inn and tavern.
All right.
Perfect.
It is probably 3 p.m. right now.
Braylor will slowly trot the woolly mammoth that I assume is probably like overheating at this point. Just slowly over, and then I'm going to dismount and call for like a stable boy or something to give his mount water. He's desperately in need of water.
Okay, yeah. So you call someone over. There's like a little halfling boy, probably 12, 13 years old, comes over. He looks excitedly at the ram at first. He's very excited about it, and hesitant to take the reins.
It will just follow you around. You don't need to take reins.
Okay.
It will do what you say.
Anything?
Except to destroy property or, cause mischief. Anything within the normal bounds. But feel free to have some fun with him if you want. If you have space for him to run.
Brightens.
He loves to run.
Yeah, and there is like a little stables and like a little. It's kind of like a post that people tie their horses to, and there's a little stables behind the building. But he starts walking across the street to like a more farmland, grassy area. And I mean, if you command it to follow him, then I assume it just follows him. Teagle on his back still. kind of like laying there, just relaxing for a second before he
Just
kind of stretches and gets off. He's like, okay, if you have to take my bed, and then walks back over to you guys, and he'll keep following you.
All right. Good. Yeah, let's go in, guess.
Calypso's just gonna walk right in.
Mhm.
Now that you've had a little bit more view of what's here, Calypso, you do start to remember your world as well. Hearing the seagulls, seeing the ocean, and the name of this tavern. You've been here before. You would know that you're currently in the port city of TideHaven. You've probably been here once or twice in the past. So you're not super familiar with the city itself, but you have kind of an idea of what some stuff that's going on with it. I would have sent it to you earlier, but I didn't write it out. So if you have any questions, just let me know if you think of things.
Okay.
As you guys walk into the tavern, it's fairly nice. It seems like a tavern that is generally frequented by the farmers. It's out on the outskirts of the town, and it's generally used for farmers to rest and relax after a long day of work. Right now, it's pretty empty. The barkeep's there, and there might be a couple people who are attendants, and just a few people who just seem to drink their days away, usually, like back in corners, laying down, or drunk. At 3, those types of people.
Nice. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Braylor's gonna let Calypso kind of lead in, and he'll just stand behind.
So, yeah, Calypso will walk in, take in, observe, smell the probably booze stained air with all the 3 p.m. drinkers, and just walk right up to, I'm guessing, the bar or the desk where the innkeep is. I'm guessing the bar.
Sorry, that was my phone.
No, you're good. I was like, I just heard myself. And then, yeah, and ask him if he has any rooms available.
Yes, you walk in. The barkeep for this one is a... I literally just had my notes on all of these. I'm just going to make it up. He is a tabaxi man standing behind it.
Makes sense.
Yes, the cat's
The name.
That makes perfect sense. And yeah, you walk up, introduce yourself, you ask for rooms. He says that currently they do have 2 rooms open on the top floor. If you wanted them, you'd want to buy them now, because there are some people coming in from the ports currently looking for places to stay.
All right.
I think
Braylor will...
Yeah, and then she'll start patting herself, like looking for money, and then
don't worry. I can pay for it. All right. Braylor will kind of just step up behind Calypso. What is the payment for these 2 rooms?
Each room is 50 silver a night.
Wow. Very reasonable. That's great. I love that. Deal. I guess he'll lay down 10 gold piece.
10 gold
on...
piece?
Yeah, because that's 100 silver is 10 gold.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, so he'll just lay... Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, he'll just lay those down, and
yeah.
I am going to my room now. Calypso, I'll be there.
Go ahead, Braylor.
All right.
Maybe I'll look at you.
Am I still cursed by the hag, by the way?
No, I forgot about that.
Because I have a 3rd level spell slot, and I have remove curse. But that's not until I can get a long rest. So, I don't know.
In that case, it seems like as you go down to sleep, it seems like the curse has either overextended its bounds and is not able to reach you anymore, but you have a very peaceful night.
That's
as peaceful as you can after fighting. Which,
Yeah.
who knows how peaceful that is? So no more curse.
Yeah.
Mainly because I didn't
All
even
right, great.
think about it. I completely forgot
Love
about
that.
that hag.
It's great.
I think Teagle would probably wander around. I don't remember. Oh no, he did. He drank like at noon when you guys were in
Yeah.
Pale Bank.
Teagle would definitely be the 3
You would probably
p.m.
start.
drinker. Yeah.
Teagle probably went up to the barkeep and ordered a drink. He'll probably wander around town a little bit while you sleep. Because he didn't really take too much damage in that last fight. He was good.
Yeah.
Sitting off
Just
to the
chilling. Yeah. Oh man. Yep. Cool.
And Calypso, we're not going to do much for the first day. If there's anything you want to look for in the city, let me know and we'll skip over the next day and I'll let you know what you find. Anything specific you want to do?
I think the only thing she would do is just walk around. Since she remembers being here, maybe just finding things like, oh yeah, okay, I have been there, or that seems familiar, but maybe just go to the docks and then go back to the inn. Nothing special.
Okay.
But she would walk around and for a little bit.
Okay. In that case, how long did I make this city? That's a very long walk, actually. But that's okay.
Yeah, she wouldn't walk the whole city.
Okay.
Definitely.
So yeah, you start wandering the city around that area. See a lot of different houses. Some memories of TideHaven start coming back. Nothing really super specific, just kind of the layout of the town. And you can get an okay idea of where things are. Maybe you like climb up to the top of a building and look around to see where the general landmarks are and stuff like that. And you can have kind of an okay idea of the layout. Then night falls. Braylor's still slumbering away. You can go to your room. You both are able to rest for the night.
Chico pass out from drinking.
Yes,
Just
on the bar after the big old fight.
does the halfling stable boy, is he just playing with my Rameth the whole day?
Most of the day. He probably plays with it for like an hour, 2 hours maybe,
Yeah.
before he just brings it back to the stables and drops it off with some hay to eat. Anyways, you guys have a good night's sleep. Both of you resting calmly, no issues. Braylor, not much for Calypso either. But yeah, not right now for either one of you guys. So you wake up the next morning, rested, and now leveled up. I guess.
Yes.
Very happy to now have your new spells. Braylor.
Yeah,
Maybe
very
you
good.
took the morning studying some more of your. What would you look into to learn new spells? I shouldn't have said that.
I mean, he kind of re-examines like what he learned during these last
Yeah.
few weeks that he's been traveling, and all of these spells that I chose for his 3rd level, they all kind of reflect, renewed resolve and protection rather than damage, if that makes sense.
Nice. Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
Yep.
maybe you knew some other paladins who took similar oaths. You've read some of their stories and
Yes.
stuff. Found out.
I don't think we ever established like what deity Braylor worships. I have no idea.
But
they're just like god of protection or whatever. But
he doesn't
yeah,
really have
he
to
would-
worship the deity, right? Paladins, it can just be
Yeah.
his own drive and
yeah. So
willpower.
yeah, so he just made like he re-examined the oath that he had made to protect those who couldn't protect themselves, and and he felt like he kind of failed a little bit towards the end of that last bit because so many of the crew members died on that ship, and he
Yeah.
felt like they just moved on because now this is finally the last time he can sit down and re-examine what happened, and he's like, so many people died, and I was there still. So he felt like he failed a little bit. So he re-examines himself and now has access to higher level protection spells.
Nice.
Yeah.
Reevaluated what was really important in a fight, and we're able to get more things that might save more people's lives than end your
Yeah.
enemies. That's a good.
Yes.
That's great. And Calypso
Mhm.
in the morning. Still everything pretty hazy. Honestly, let's see.
I imagine Calypso's bed hair is insane. Like her, yeah,
Especially with all the
morning
humidity.
routine. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. He probably wakes up pretty early, just to just to comb through.
yeah. All
Or
right.
maybe she braids her hair at night, so
Oh,
it's a
nice.
lot
Yeah.
easier in the morning. We'll say that.
Cool.
So it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll say with this, your memory is kind of like it's starting to come back a little bit. You know that somehow, some way, you're tied to a goddess on this plane named Polaris. You don't know exactly what that is, but you were kind of studying the items that you had and remembering some things about it, and that's probably where you draw most of your power. You would assume is from this bond that you have with that goddess specifically. Um, that will be the information you glean for the morning about your past. Now, a new day ahead of you, rested, recuperated, fully healed Braylor.
It's been so long.
Yeah, what would you
Oh,
like to
man.
do? It's a nice calm day outside, clear
To
skies,
sleep in a
no
bed.
wind.
Braylor is gonna find Calypso when they're both in the common room eating breakfast or something, and he's just gonna have a bag of jewels. Be like, I need to sell these. They've been useless in my pack for too long, and now I think it's a good time to have some gold. Do you
Sounds
know a
good to
place
me.
where we can sell some gems?
So, do I have to do like a roll to think of a place, Wyatt, or
Um,
would Calypso know, like a flea market or even
so
just a jewel shop where we could go and sell those jewels?
you would know that down by the docks, that area with all the tents that you guys can see there, you know that that's like a trading center. People who are traveling from other lands to here. Lots of times, instead of moving into the main city to sell to general goods stores and stuff, we'll unload lots of stuff and just sell to the traders who stand on the docks and who will trade with them. But you also know that, well, actually, no, you wouldn't know that. So you know that there's that one, but then you also know in town, from what you gleaned, I'll have you make a roll to see if you want to see if there's anything else that you would know, because it would
And
be a ways out.
while she's doing that, Wyatt,
Yeah.
the thing from the Cloak of Many Useful Items just says 10 gems worth 100 gold pieces each. Would any of them, specifically three of them, be diamonds? Just
Specifically, three of
curious.
them be diamonds, worth 100
Uh huh.
gold.
Yeah.
Roll a d20 for me.
Because if not, I
Also,
assume I can trade. I've got a 14 in the d20. Anyway, sorry.
14. I think that maybe digging through that pouch of diamonds, um, two of them, I mean, pouch
Okay.
of gems, two of them are probably diamonds.
Rather, we'll set those aside.
I rolled a 2.
A two? Yeah, you
No.
think the
I was
best luck
thinking
that you would
really.
probably have is down at the ports, because there's a lot of traders down there. You got pretty close. You saw what they were doing when you were there. They were closing up though the night before when you were walking down there. So not much was there for you to see, but you'd assume that there's probably some people there who might buy gems.
Perfect. Then I'll say to Braylord, the docks are probably our best option to get the most money out of them.
I say we go to the docks then.
Perfect. Is
Yeah.
Teagle? Yes, Teagle. Where is he joining us?
Uh,
He down there?
good question. He's probably blackout drunk somewhere. I don't know.
Alright. I'm sure he'll
Yeah,
find us.
he'll be good. He hadn't come down yet from the night before.
All right.
We'll let him
Great.
sleep because we both saw how most of
Yeah.
it being, or at least I saw.
Uh-huh. Brother will leave a note with the innkeeper just in case he asks about it. But
That's a good idea.
yeah. And then yeah, I guess to the docks we go.
Good dogs.
Okay. So you guys start heading down that way. I'm just trying to remember what the sizes I put on this was. 125 miles.
Oh my peace. That's good.
Mm.
Back for now.
You guys have, if you want to walk all the way down there, it would take you probably 3-ish hours. You start walking and you realize this after you guys walk for maybe 10-15 minutes, seeing that the ocean is still a ways off. You see other people meandering past you in carts and wagons or horses. Most of the people who are traveling the roads down towards the dock are not walking. Most of the people you see who are walking seem to be more of a poorer class, who are just trying to bring maybe some small baubles and trinkets that they have to sell down that way.
Yeah. Do I want to go get my ram? I don't know how well he'll do outside currently. We can walk.
Well, should we offer a gem to someone with a cart?
Yeah, I'll offer gold for now. But
Gold.
yes, I think that's a
Then
good
how would we
idea.
do that?
Yeah, Brayler will try and flag down. I mean, to him, quietly shouting for a ride, but it's a booming voice just across. Like, hello, anyone willing to take us down to the docks? I have money to pay.
Most of the wagons that are going past, they don't stop. They like look your direction, but you can see that it seems like they go from point A to point B. They don't stop too much. As you
And
go ahead.
can I try and wave someone down? Use my persuasion. And try and flag somebody down.
Yes. You can try that. Make a persuasion roll for me.
Okay. And I'm using physical dice because
That's okay.
that
Nice.
first roll on D&D Beyond sucked.
That's
Yeah, D&D
what
Beyond
happens.
hates me a lot. I can't. Yeah, it's not great.
Okay.
Yeah.
17. Don't think you can see that. Oh, I turned it. 17
okay.
plus 9.
Wow.
Nice.
17 plus 9
Remember
is
that.
26.
26.
Yeah. So, yeah, you maybe don't persuade the wagons because they're pretty much. It seems like they have this set course, but as you guys are both sitting there trying to flag people down, a woman riding a horse. She kind of like sees you guys trying to wave these wagons down, and you're able to like kind of convince her that she sees you guys in that way, and she kind of like pulls her horse out into the street and stops one of the wagons kind of physically, looks down at you guys and says, you guys are new to TideHaven, I'd assume? These wagons, they travel from the crossroads to the dock to the crossroads. But, and she looks at the wagon, I'm sure you'd be willing to pick up 2, maybe for an extra fee.
We
Alright.
can pay.
I don't want to be any trouble. If it's too much, I can walk. It's okay.
But we are heading to the docks where you're going. So we wouldn't deter you from your course.
Yeah, so he looks down at both of you guys. He says you can get in.
If you need someone to lift your goods, I have a strong arm or two as well.
My goods are people. They all have legs. But I will take a gold. General fare is 1 gold. I'll take 1 gold, 5 silver.
How
since you
about
stopped to
just
have
one
your own
gold?
power.
I don't have any silver.
Hmm.
I can pay you again later. It's
Well,
just one.
is there just one of you traveling, or are you both coming?
Yeah.
I'll take 3 gold,
Uh,
and you can jump in.
If we give you 2
uh,
gold, would that be enough? 1 gold for each person? Should I make a persuasion check?
Yeah, go ahead.
yes.
Oh, oh,
Uh-oh. +9 still.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. So this one's
Not that great.
it's a little bit less your words and more he seems like he's in a big hurry. He's like, no time to haggle, jump in, 2 gold.
All right.
And like as you
Yeah,
guys
I
are starting to
will.
climb in, he and whips his horse. So it starts to move again.
Yeah. Braylor will just see that, and he will give 3 gold just because he has a lot, and he wants to feel generous right now. So he's gonna do it without Calypso, hopefully without Calypso seeing. But he's just like, I'm gonna give you 3 golds because I would have taken that deal.
Okay, you hand him the 3 gold.
Can, are you trying to hide it from me? Like, should I make
No,
a
he's
roll
just
so
like
I can see it passively?
he's not actively trying to hide it from you. He just like turns his body and he just gives it as a stack, so he doesn't like count out each piece. I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't count out the 3 gold.
Yeah.
Just grabs a handful.
Yeah. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you hand it to him. What is your passive perception, Calypso?
My passive perception. Oh. That is a 14.
A 14.
And then,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't really notice exactly what's going on, but Braylor's maybe leaning his body a little bit purposefully, just for you not to see. You don't know exactly what's happening, but you could probably venture a guess. And
Like, I would just laugh
yeah,
and sit down. Like, okay.
Braylor, when you are being generous by giving him these 3 gold, he kind of like takes it, looks at it, chuckles a little bit, and then as you go to sit down, you can hear him kind of grumbling under his breath. Just seems to be complaining about stuff. Doesn't seem to be a very happy man.
All right. Cool. Does he seem to have any like for example, does he seem to have any disease or poison currently afflicting him?
Do you have a passive ability to see, or are you
If
asking
I
for
touch
like
his shoulder,
surface?
I can do. If I touch his shoulder, I can do lay on hands for 5, and I can cure a disease or poison if I wanted
Um,
to.
he's probably not the healthiest guy. He's not.
Okay, yeah. I'll just like as I'm getting on, like gently pat his shoulder, and yeah, I'll cure a disease.
Okay. Whatever he had, you don't know what. He seems to be a little bit more happy. Still grumbly. Still grumbled about all the gold
Yeah.
and stuff. But you see him like stretching out his back, like he's feeling rejuvenated.
Good.
Do I notice Braylor doing that? Like, can I tell?
Yeah, brother wouldn't be counters.
Him?
He would. That would be like completely open. His hand slightly glows, and he pats this guy's back as he's moving, and just sits down.
Okay.
Then I would say yes. Yes, you would notice.
Mhm.
Okay.
Being a cleric, he
Then
kind of can recognize healing
Yeah.
stuff.
Calypso is definitely gonna notice that and be like, in her head, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And she'll walk up and she'll touch his other shoulder, and then can I use lesser restoration to end a disease or cure a condition?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure. This is now the
You
healthiest
can.
uh,
That's
wagon
great.
driver in
Love
all
that.
of
I
TideHaven.
assumed he had some
The
sort of
most.
respiratory disease or something, and then like pain in his joints, and now he doesn't.
Yeah, he probably had like bronchitis or something.
Right.
He was always
Yeah.
spitting, and it was just he spit a couple times when
Yeah.
we were talking, but that's better. And
Mhm.
and maybe he had like a limp of some kind from a disease, but he's stretching out his legs and he feels a lot better. Doesn't say anything to you guys. Just gets on his merry way. Now feeling a lot better. The grumbling now a minimum.
Braylor will look to Calypso and just be like, "Kindness pays, doesn't it?" Ha. And he says that loudly enough for the wagon driver to hear. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good time.
Calypso's just gonna laugh, kind
Yeah,
of shake her
of
head, and
course.
then like sit down, get comfortable, and
Mm.
she just starts taking in the scene as they drive, almost like with an expression of like pondering, thinking, and but like taking things in, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, and then I have a
Right.
question.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that I know that Braylor had other companions besides Teagle
Yes.
and his woolly mammoth.
Yes, you do.
Perfect. Then Calypso is gonna ask, "Where are the others?"
I don't know. Uh, they may be ahead of us, or the portal may have spit them out somewhere else.
Ah,
Um,
well,
if word of them will go around if they were here, I assume they would probably be taking a similar path to ours, though less healing along the way, I suspect. So, you
I'm
know.
sure there'd be much more chaos.
Oh yes,
Well,
we are the calm ones over here. This is great. Lost all the chaos.
Actually,
yeah, that was a good separation.
I honestly think it's
Yeah.
hilarious
Uh-huh.
that
Yeah.
those pairings happened.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, I don't know. I hope they're doing okay. Coog seemed to be going out under a lot, and I assume this is his home world. So I hope he's doing well.
yes, that's right. I hope Coog and 12 Thorns are okay.
Mm. And
Memory's gonna
Portia
be a
as
hard thing
well.
to overcome.
She just found and lost her mother after almost killing her, so that's not great. Man,
So much
dang.
trauma
A lot. Yeah.
in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot. Well, with this
Hmm.
conversation, your guys' journey is probably cut down to about maybe 40 minutes. It's still a bit of a ways there. There's a couple stops that he has to make to drop some people off on the way down there. But you make it to the port in relative ease. This man happy. When you get there and start unloading, he flicks you back 2 gold pieces, Braylor,
Ah,
and says,
okay.
I appreciate the healing that you gave me. It's going to make my life a lot
Pass the
easier.
kindness along next time.
I'll remember. And then he picks up some more travelers from the ports and he heads back up.
Nice.
As you watch him go off in the distance, you see someone waving their hands trying to get him to stop. And he looks back and he stops his wagon to pick up this traveler who had not quite made
Wow.
it to the port. Already changing
Yep.
lives, Braylor. Good job.
Yeah, it's great.
The port
Such a heartwarming session.
bustles.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Um,
I assume last week's was just as
yeah,
just as heartwarming.
just as heartwarming.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The dockside trading square that I haven't quite named yet is very busy. People are flying all over the place. You hear people yelling out prices for stuff, trying to call other people over who are selling things, and it's pretty chaotic here. There's kind of a general route that you can take through all the chaos that people try to keep clear, but occasionally people will fall on top of it. I need you both, if you're looking specifically for a jeweler to sell these jewels to make a roll for me. Just roll a d20 for me. I'm not going to make it a check of any kind.
I got a 12.
A 12?
I've got a 12.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you got
Nice.
a 12?
We're
Nice.
just
Yeah.
sync.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you wander around a little bit in the first entrance area past that first entry gate. There isn't much. You're looking around. You don't see really anything. You get to that center area, which is a much larger keep. There aren't any traders allowed there. No one's trading around it. It seems to be more like the portmaster's grounds. That's where he stays, and he accepts entry. And looking around from there, it's a little bit more elevated. You see a couple people back in the back, more to the west, down that west road over there, who are waving around jewels. There's people who are exchanging jewels, people who are exchanging gold for jewels, and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of like the jewelry section.
Braylor will hand the bag of jewels to Calypso. You seem to be much better at the talking than I am, so I'll let you handle this. If you need someone to look menacing, I can do that naturally. So,
Good.
I don't know.
We're a perfect pair.
Yeah.
She'll just grab the bag and start walking.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I feel like at this point, there are some details about Calypso that I feel like Braylor could notice, which would be that I forgot to mention when I described what she looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be she has matching scars on each shoulder, and she's barefoot. First of all, she's not wearing shoes, and with that she has this red kind of marking. It doesn't look like a scar, more like a tattoo, right on her lower calf, right above her heel. So there's that as she's walking away. Just thought that would be important.
All right, cool.
To know about her appearance. But
Okay.
yeah,
Sweet.
she's just glowing, holding these jewels.
Nice.
Wandering over there, you see all sorts of different people. In the trading center, it seems like the population is much more widespread among the races here. There's people from all over the place, people who've traveled from different lands to come here, so it's a lot more why can't I think of that word? I use it so much nowadays. It's
Diverse.
the word. Yeah, that's the one. Diverse.
Is there any Goliaths?
In the jewelry section, you might see like one or two Goliaths. They aren't selling anything. It seems like they were probably hired. These two seem like they're standing next to a jeweler, and they were more hired hands. Not servants. They're definitely they seem to be well paid. They look really well adorned as well, like they are working for a very, very wealthy person. But there aren't many more in this area.
Yeah.
The first person that you come to, if you were just trying to find one person right off the bat, is a dwarven woman. She is selling jewels from Calistran. She traveled from Calistran, the Iron Keep, with many different types of jewels to bring from there. She's looking more for trading value, though, if you're interested in that.
Right.
Just
Braylor will lean down and be like, I do need to get one more diamond of somewhat value. Some of those smaller jewels should be enough, or one of them should be enough, but do your best, I guess.
Sounds good. So Calypso's just gonna walk over and start talking to her, asking if she has a diamond that she'd be willing to trade for, and maybe she'll grab like, I don't know, some really pretty gems. I don't know if she knows much about gems, so she'll probably just find the prettiest ones and like hold 3 and ask if she'd be willing to trade. But
you pull out 3 gems from the bag.
pretty and big ones.
3 pretty big gems from the
Yes.
bag that are not diamonds.
That
I
are
would
not
assume.
diamonds.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she
I will
won't
also
do that.
say they're probably not rubies either, because those are the biggest ones.
Yes,
in the
not the
bag.
biggest one.
So not okay.
Like,
Yeah.
So you probably pull
medium.
out like there's like a pretty opal in there. That's like one of those
Mm.
fire opals. It's really nice
Yeah.
and well cut. Well, they don't. Do they cut opals? I don't remember. People don't cut opals.
Yeah,
It's just natural.
they can be
They can
cut
be
or
cut.
polished opals.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they are beautiful
They're
polished
pretty
fire opals, two of them, and then one sapphire that's a little bit smaller than the opals, but looks pretty nice as well. You walk up to her. When she sees you approaching, looking at her tent where she says, "You have a good eye, miss. The finest gems from Calistran, the Iron Keep, dug straight down from the deepest mines. Pristine gems worthy of trade."
I'm sure. They're all very beautiful. Would you be willing to trade for these? And she's just going to offer them right up. I'm
Uh,
looking for a diamond.
I have just the diamond to trade for those. And she pulls out. You see a couple diamonds. There aren't a whole bunch of them. She grabs like a medium-sized one, not the smallest, not the biggest. She says, "The diamonds from Calistran are of the finest quality. This one would easily equal value to those 3 gems."
What would you want for that biggest diamond?
Well, what else do you have?
Can I try and find another sapphire? Was that the third one I had?
Yeah.
The
You
bag?
dig through the bag. There's probably another sapphire in there. How many gems are in each bag, Braylor?
So there's 10, well, there's 8 normal gems and then 3 giant rubies. So,
8 normal gems and 3 giant rubies.
8 normal
yes.
gems, 3 giant rubies.
Because Braylord took out the 2 diamonds that he had in there and stored them.
Right.
Yes.
So,
How big are the diamonds that you have, Braylor?
The diamonds
Are
are
they
probably, they're not extensively big. He just needed diamonds that are valued up to 300, and each of them were 100. So he just took those 2, but so not too big.
yeah.
Probably
So,
around the size of a D6 or something. Well, actually, no, that's a huge diamond. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
yeah. The biggest diamond she has on the table is very large. It would be very, very expensive. You pull out another sapphire and she says, "That is not going to be enough to trade for that large diamond, I am afraid."
Then I will take your medium diamond.
Sounds good.
Because I think Calypso's like, I am not going to trade all of these gems for 1 diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Probably need more uses out of them than just that.
So she
I wouldn't say that out loud.
you the
Yeah.
diamond, and she takes the 3 gems that you were offering her and tucks them away into a pouch that she has that seems to be like her pouch of things that she received. And yeah, you now have 3 diamonds, Braylor, if Calypso chooses to give it to you, I guess.
So is that 1 diamond worth 300 gold pieces? Because
You're
each of
not.
those gems are technically worth 100.
You
Like,
look at the
is
diamond.
is what it explicitly said.
You look at the diamond and you compare it to the diamonds that you have. It looks about the same size as the diamonds you
Right.
have. Maybe a little
Okay.
bit bigger if you're really being particular. But
Okay.
you'd probably guess it's probably around the same price as your diamonds.
All right. So I have that enough to cast Revivify now. So that's all Brother really needs. So he will
Okay.
put that away, and then lean to Calypso. I think we should trade the rest of these for gold. I would want to buy a bigger armor. The ones I have now is kind of breaking apart. If we can spare the money, but
Well, it
is
sounds
what.
like a priority to me, so let's get gold and get you armor.
All right. I saw some Goliaths over there. I assume they'll know where to get Goliath armor. So I'm gonna go approach and call to them in Giant, and see if they respond.
So you start walking over towards them and call out. They look to you, but then another Goliath man was sitting down. You didn't see him before because he was sitting
Mhm.
further down. He is very, very well dressed. He seems to be the one who would be in charge of them.
Hmm.
He says back to you what did you say to them in Giant?
In giant. Just like I'm looking for a place to get armor that would fit one such as myself, and I assume all of you know where to do that.
Uh, is that what you're calling out to them in Giant?
Yeah, just like, hey, where's the armor place that you guys got your armor? I'm looking for some stuff,
Okay.
that sort of thing.
This Goliath man responds to you, looks up to you, stays sitting down. He's kind of like sorting through some gems and dividing out gold as well among them. And he calls out to you. Without looking up at you, he would respond back in common. Um, yes, he'd say back in common to you, "You're in the wrong place for armor. We don't deal in armor in the trade square. Armor is more in the towns. If you want to travel up to the towns,
Well, we have gems we need to sell. I assume you
that
trade
I
in
can
that.
do." And this one,
He'll
he does look up
like
to you.
gesture to Calypso, be like, "It's your turn now. Do the talking bit."
Okay. So yeah, she'll just walk right over with the gems.
Okay. Are you
How?
handing him the bag? Are you taking them out?
Well, okay, maybe before Calypso walks over, she has a feeling that maybe she should ask Braylor how much he thinks this bag of gems that I have is worth. Is this
Mhm.
with or without the diamonds as well?
So yeah, he took out the diamonds. So should be five. The five gems that are left in there should be worth 500 about. And he doesn't really know the value of the rubies. They're very abnormally large and big. He assumes they're valuable, but he doesn't know the highest extent. So get the best deal for him. That's what he
Okay,
says. Hmm.
awesome. Okay, so she'll walk over. How much would you give for gems from a different world? They're probably pretty similar to yours here, but I have some interesting ones if you want to take a look.
Let me see them.
So she'll open up the bag and first reveal like the smaller gems and then reveal the 3 large rubies.
Hmm.
So he sees the smaller gems, and he does glance at them, but it seems like he got a pretty quick price on what he'd pay for those. And then you pour out the rubies, and his eyes go. He doesn't give away too much, I guess, but with your
Yeah.
perception, you seem to.
Can I roll an
be able to-
insight on
Yeah,
him?
sure. If you're
I
watching him.
also roll an insight.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. I got 11 total on that insight.
11. Okay.
I got
Mhm.
19 total.
19.
Nice.
Okay. With the 11, you kind of catch him, like, maybe squint a tiny bit yourself, but
Mm.
it could be the sun blaring off of the
Mhm.
bright rubies. Calypso, you get a bit more. He likes these rubies. He thinks that they are very, very beautiful and worth an okay amount. But as soon as that kind of feelings and emotions cross his face, they're quickly gone. He looks at the smaller gems first and says, "I will give you 300 gold for the small gems, and for the rubies, I believe a fair price would be 1,000 gold."
Okay, Calypso's gonna steal a quick glance at Braylor.
And he'll just
Just to
kind of like
see.
point up, like, like point up with his fingers a little bit. It's like, we want a little more more than that. You can do it.
Okay. So, she steals her quick glance and says, I'll take 300 for the small gems, but I'm afraid that 1,000 is a little low for these rubies. Don't know if you realize their value. I
Roll
can
a
take them
persuasion
somewhere
check.
else.
For me, please.
Come on.
Persuasion.
Natural 20. Now's the time.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Ooh, we got a 15.
15.
No.
Okay.
Oh no.
So he looks
Hold
at you
on.
for a moment, and he looks at Braylor, and it doesn't seem like either of you are jewelers. You would not be familiar with the price of gems. I can assure you that 1,000 gold is a very fair price.
Hmm.
Okay, can I do
All
an
right,
insight check to see if he's like
Yeah.
actually being honest? Oh, wow. 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 Okay, oh man, my brain's not working. 15 plus 8.
Mine's not either. 30,
It's
23.
23.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
23.
Was that-
Maybe some of the phrasing he said, or some of the like intonations that he had in his voice when he was talking to you about them, would make you think that he is probably not giving you the best price like he says he is. But you're not sure if he's going to go higher than that.
Okay. So, with that, Calypso will nod and be like, no, I'm not too familiar, but you're not the first person I've taken these gems to. I believe 1,200 sounds like a fair price to me, and I can go somewhere else. If you want one, we could do 800 or 9.
Make a deception check for me.
We'll see if she's good at this.
Can I give her the like an assist? Give her advantage somehow, like with the help.
What are you going to do to help her? would
I
need
don't know, because this guy's a
specific
Goliath
dice.
too, so I can't just like generically intimidate this guy. But Braylor is just going to be kind of like, yeah, we saw all of these people, like we went to different places and they offered the higher price. Yes. Braylor's not very good at lying. But he's like, yes. He's kind of like nodding along. I'll say he's not saying anything. He's just like
Yeah.
nodding, like giving
Roll
his
Reminiscing.
affirmation. Like that's what happened.
And
You
I
roll
got
a perception
15
check
for
for
that
me, Braylor.
deception.
15 for the deception?
Yes.
I got a dirty 20
A
perception.
dirty 20 perception? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, with the 15, at first when you say that you brought them to other people, he kind of just looks at you and smiles a little bit. But then, Braylor, you noticed when you guys were walking through that there isn't really anyone else who is buying gems here for gold. As you were walking through, you realize that. And as you see him kind of start to smile, you say, well, you suggest to Calypso that you can take them back out to the city, to the first jeweler that you met, to take it back out into TideHaven. And when you say that, the smile goes back to a frown. And he looks at the gems, and he looks at Calypso. And
She's
with
gonna smile
slight trepidation, reaches for a coin pouch, dumps it out on the table, and what is platinum? 1,000?
Platinum.
100? Or platinum's
Let me see.
10?
It says here just in platinum is no, platinum is just 10 gold
10
piece.
gold pieces. So
Uh-huh.
he throws you a pouch, Calypso, of platinum. It is 100 platinum in the bag. If you look into it, kind of he like puts it on a little scale for you, weighs it out, how that is. And then um, tosses you another 2 gold for the 1200 that you said.
You were very generous. And she's just gonna slide all the gems to him, take the bags, and wave bye-bye and go back to Braylor.
Very well done. I would have said yes right away. That's good.
I haven't
And
had
yeah,
the
Brayler's
luck,
saying that
but
as now we have enough to get me a new armor set, the very least. So
Okay.
that's what I was hoping for.
As you guys walk away from the jeweler, we are going to take a quick break
cool.
as it's nearing 9, and I'm going to call Amy to see how she's doing. So,
Yes, that'll good.
okay.
Sounds good.
We will be back in a little bit, everyone who's watching, and have a little bit of disappointing news for the party. So,
That's awkward.
thanks for
Those
watching.
giants gonna come
We'll
after
see you in a little
us.
bit.
Oh no.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
back and live again. First thing I need for you to do, both of you, if you would like, is to make an intelligence check for me, please.
Okay. A 19.
19?
I'm gonna use a different D20. Ooh! Ha ha ha. Do we add anything to that? Remind me. Just
Intelligence. Just the intelligence
Yeah, just your
modifier.
okay. Yeah. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
nice.
Okay. Now, where are you guys going right now?
Just back up the city center, I guess. Trying to find armor people. At least Braylor is looking out for armor.
Would I have a general idea of where it would be? My question.
You didn't see any armories in the area that you were able to survey on your walk the night before. You would know for fact that the best armor smiths and just, the best any kind of creators of anything, metal workers, woodworkers, anything, would be in the Clifftop district, which is a ways away, but that would be where the best armors are. If you were looking for something that was good but not best quality, you'd be able to find it down here somewhere, probably. But you'd have to ask around.
Okay. So I think I'll tell Braylor that. Just my general knowledge of, like, hey, we're going to find better quality stuff the further out we go. But it is quite a ways away.
All I am looking for is full plates that will fit one of my size. Wherever we can find that, I guess, is where we should go.
All right. So I'll find someone to ask on the street where, like, the nearest or a good armor smith is.
You ask around for a bit, and everyone points you up further. Puts you further north. If you follow the path that way that's leading out of the well, actually, I didn't draw any paths on this map except for those circles, which don't help. If you head up northeast through the town, then that's where they say some of the better metal workers are in this area. You have some blacksmiths who can forge armor, but they just sell generic armor. If you wanted to find someone who makes custom armor, you would need to go to... Let me figure that out real quick. Where was he? 19 is... Oh, actually, yeah, very far. Wait. 8. My bad. Oh, never mind. The custom work guy is back by the inn that you guys were at earlier. So you guys would have seen that walking past a metalworker shop, probably called... I can't think of anything right now, so we'll figure out the name when you get there. Can't think of it. You didn't catch it.
Right.
But as you guys are asking around, and just as you are about to leave the central area of the trade center, you remember something, both of you. The rubies weren't the only things that you were selling. There was the other gems as well. You'd pushed them over, and he had handed you 1,200 gold, the agreed upon price of just the rubies. You've left the general area, but there is still the chance for you to go back if you would like to now for the 300 extra gold.
Once Braylor notices, I think he would want to go back.
I think Calypso too. She's like, that's cheating.
It's not fair. All right, let's turn around.
Okay.
And they both just
For
nope.
Yep.
sake of brevity, if you guys... Was there anything else you want besides the 300 gold? Because when you get back there, he'll tell you that it must have slipped his mind when you guys were paying, and it was a complete error on his part.
Otherwise, I was going to compel duel on this guy. Right. Okay. Yeah, unless if he just gives it over, then
300
nothing.
gold. He gives it to you, says it was an error, his mistake, and would send you on your way.
Mhm.
If you
I'm
were.
gonna say I believe it was 400 gold that I asked for. Can I try? Should I even
Yeah.
chance that, Braylor?
Ye-
Should I chance to
Mhm.
get more money out of him?
Sure. Do it.
Okay.
Roll a persuasion check.
Do I have
for
to
me.
roll something for that?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not rolling that dice. We're rolling this dice. Oh. Oh no.
That's
Oh, no.
fine.
No. It's a
10.
persuasion, right?
Yeah.
It's a 10 altogether, but that was a
One.
natural one.
Nice.
I think she's just angry and she's like, I deserve 400.
Give me 100 more
Yeah,
gold.
you say it. He
For inconveniencing me.
says, everyone makes mistakes every once in a while. If you would like, you can have the gems back. But 300 gold was the agreed upon price.
It's all right, Calypso. We can take the 300. No ill will on our part.
She'll take a deep breath and calm down. No, I will.
Okay.
Grab the 300.
Oh. You guys want to entertain the stream real quick? I have to go grab my kids because they came home early because our babysitter's left.
Of course.
So I'll be back in just a second. Entertain, you know? Tell us
Okay.
what you're doing in this town as you're walking towards the metalworking shop.
Yeah. As Braylor's walking, he's definitely going to be like looking out for all the other kids, or not what, all the other like any other Goliaths, and just kind of talking to them, seeing if what they're doing. Yeah.
That sounds great. I feel like Calypso will just take a few deep breaths. And remember that
Recenter
it's
herself.
still okay for her to have faith in people.
Just
Not
people are still
everybody's
good.
a liar.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think Braylor also, I mean, because Wyatt said that the metal armor smith is kind of near the inn. So Braylor would go check up on his woolly mammoth, make sure he's still good. And yeah, I will take the antidote vial that was in his saddlebags and slip them back into my own bag and different things like that. So, yeah.
I feel like Calypso, this is probably the first time she would really probably process like the woolly ramen, like see it, because at first it was kind of like find a place for Braylor and get better, like so she probably would just immediately just reach out and touch it, like.
And I mean, especially with humidity, the ram would poof up a lot. So he's just very fluffy, big marshmallow. He's giant brown ram. And yeah, Braylor's just gonna look at Calypso. These are the mounts that were ridden by my people for a long time.
I mean, it's a very fitting mount, I will say that. But how
You should
ancient?
watch it climb a wall.
A wall?
It can climb vertical slopes. And
Straight.
well, not
Just
perfectly
like
straight.
animals
Anything
in
that's
a wonder.
yeah. There's nowhere to do it here, but I will show you later. It's very fun, especially while riding.
Wow, right?
My people used it to. Oh yes, my people use this to scale the high mountaintops of my homeland.
Oh, wow. How
Yes.
long have you been traveling for long?
Not very long. My family was wiped out a long time ago. My clan, and I was taken in by some rangers, and they raised me. But this is a magical creature. It's not an actual ram. I conjured it from my memories of my shepherding days as a young man.
Memories must be
But yeah,
beautiful. It's probably like rub the woolly mammoth more.
Yeah.
Just like
And-
snuggling
and-
into it.
yeah, it can be a very intimidating creature. But it has kind eyes and just is calm
She
and
just like
reasonable.
loves it.
It's
Especially
also part
after
Fey
feeling.
because I could choose if it was Fey or an angelic when I cast it. So it has like a little weirdness to its face that you can't really describe, but it's definitely Fey. Yeah. So
I love that.
yeah, yeah,
That is so cool.
yeah. It's good. Yeah, very warm in the cold nights as well.
I'm
It's
glad that you have this to comfort you. I'm sorry about your
yeah,
family.
it was a long time ago. The differences in Goliath structure was apparently too hard for some people to withstand, and they wiped out my clan, took them away.
Well, I feel like
Okay.
for a second, Calypso will kind of gaze off, but as if like a little bit of fog is clearing in her head,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of come to you and be like, "Where's Teagle?"
That's I don't know.
Yes, Teagle. Um,
We've
nice.
decided that we checked on the woolly mammoth.
Good.
Yes,
Good.
we did.
Good moment for connection. You two. We have my children here
Yeah,
today now.
nice.
Both very happy. Very talkative though. Most of the time. They just wanted to watch
That's
though.
great.
Um.
Nice.
Anyway, you guys, after having such a nice conversation where you were able to connect
Mm-hmm.
with no problem, it was a different person on the wagon unless you guys walked back.
I need that.
Oh, you can't have those ones. After you guys walked back. After you guys, did you guys walk back or did you guys take the wagon? I'd assume the wagon. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You unload the
Okay.
wagon. It would be able to drop you off. There's certain spots along the route that they do stop. One of them is up at the tavern. The one that would have been before the tavern is a little bit down. See this little house here. Oh no. Oh
Mhm.
no. Never mind. The map won't load what I'm doing either. So pretty much right before the metalworking shop. So you would have had the two options, and I
Yeah.
would have told you that. You guys checking on the woolly mammoth, I guess, would have gotten off at the tavern, but it's a quick walk back to the metalworking shop. And you get
Mhm.
there. It is a open-faced store in the first part where most of the armor is sitting out in the air, and they look like really well made, if not like ornate, but just well made armor.
Mhm.
Lots of them do have some engravings. It seems like this shop is a bit more fancy. They do more custom work than a normal smithy would. It is called Alavora's Etched Armors.
Nice. Okay.
And she, the woman who you would assume is Alavora, is in the back of the shop. You hear her. Well, she's actually just leaning over with more of a precise hammer and chisel. It looks like she's starting to try to etch some armor that she'd been making. Currently in the middle of a job.
Is now a good time for us to come in, or should we come back?
She keeps looking down, doing what she's doing, but then from around the corner, a short gnome walks out. He is like, "Oh, sorry, the master is currently working, but I can take any orders that you have for us."
All right. Are you able to make Goliath-size plate?
We have before, so I'm sure we can again.
You- Do you have any currently?
We do not. We do special orders. All of the orders that we'll be putting in are made upfront and paid in half, and then we will make it to your specifications.
How long will it take?
Alivora is, she's probably the quickest metalsmith in all of TideHaven, if not all of Valen's Hope, and generally she takes about a week and a half for most armor pieces. What form of armor were you trying to make?
Plate.
Plate armor, full
Plate
plate
mail.
armor, plate,
Full plate,
full
please.
plate.
For me.
You'd probably be looking more around 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks for that one.
All right.
If
Braylor
you'd
is
like-
going to turn to Calypso. What do you think we should do? Because I don't know what our next step is.
Because there's two shops, right? There's a shop that has pre-made armor, and then there's this custom one. Is that correct? Is that what you
Yeah.
said, Wyatt?
So-
Or is there-
He would continue on to explain that after, when you seemed hesitant about the time frame. He would let you know there is some shops that sell full plate armor, but it depends on what you're buying. For Goliaths, they might have something. There's some Goliaths who come through here, so it's actually probably likely they might have had some back in storage just because there aren't many Goliaths. So they may have made some and just had it there, but those would be on the farthest north side of town is where they are. So you'd have to
All right.
a large cavern wagon ride, and also there is a magic shop a bit closer that sells magical armors, which generally magic armors that you guys would know are form fitting. They will fit to the form that they're adorned. So if you wanted to spend more money and get a more magical armor, you would probably be able to find something good, but it would just cost you a bit more.
Let's try the magic armor. That seems like fun. And there's probably going to be other magic items there. I have some more things to trade if we need.
Sounds like a plan to me. I think the
This
sooner we can get you armor, the better.
gnome man would be able to give you perfect directions to where it is. He knows where they are. You just follow the main path back towards Clifftop, and down that way back behind the school in that area there, which is the massive building that's going down towards the cliff, right outside the forest. Back in that, what am I thinking? Back in that like neighborhood area, that's where they keep. There's a store that sells magic items. They probably have it, but also if you have the money, he would also point you to the rhinestone smiths, who are in the cliff top. They make rhinestone armors, and these ones, they're the best of the best you can get, generally, by purchasing. But it would cost you a lot more.
Like, how much is a lot more than 1,500?
He hasn't ever put in an order for it, but from what he knows, it's probably closer to like 20 to 25,000.
Oh, okay. Never mind. It's great.
We will avoid that.
Yes. For now.
I don't think I can haggle 20,000 to 1,500.
Who knows? You could do it. I believe in you.
Flick my hair, flick them.
You probably don't remember this, but the first time we met, you tried to put a vision into my mind, and I overpowered your magic.
Did I? I'm
That
so
memory
sorry.
just came back. No, it was for a reason. But it was kind of awkward for you, because you told me you thought it would work, and then it didn't. It's very good.
No memory of that. That didn't happen. What?
I'm
What?
okay with not remembering.
It was great.
No, yeah,
No
you
memories,
probably
you mean.
You'd probably have
On
a
top.
hazy remembrance of that. It would be the first time you encountered Braylor. It would be there, lurking in your
I'm
mind.
tired.
Head to the bedroom.
She like goes a little pink and just says, I'm sorry.
It was different times. You were desperate need of someone to aid you, so don't blame me whatsoever. But anyway, good memories.
Hopefully that didn't happen to anybody else.
Yeah, I don't think it did.
Okay. It's not too hard to charter a carriage from here to that store either.
Mhm.
They're running all the time on this main road. It's a bit more busy. At the crossroads right in front of the tavern is where most I almost said chariots. It's not a chariot. Most wagon services stop to get to where you need to go. It is once again just a gold piece each. High prices for these wagon rides, and it doesn't take like long. It probably takes like 30 minutes, maybe a little bit less, just to get there. He drops you off in front of the school because that's where the stop that they have is, but it's just like probably a 5-10 minute walk to get back behind it to the neighborhood, and it is pretty easy to find Bellamy's Mystic Crafts.
Nice. All right. Let's go in.
No, you know what? He'd name it the Dragon Slayer. That Bellamy. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Love that.
That's what he would name
Love
it.
it.
The Dragon Slayer or the Dragon's Lair?
Wow. I didn't realize how close those are. Dragon's Lair.
Oh, okay.
It's just Dragon Slayer.
Definitely.
Generic. He's a basic man, Bellamy.
Okay. So this is like the Walmart of the D&D world, then, is what you're saying. Generic brand, Dragon's
It's-
Lair shop.
In name. So looking at it, you're like, oh yeah, Dragon Slayer, clever, yeah, witty, huh? And then you walk inside, and it would be far overreaching those expectations. That
Oh,
are the
okay.
name of it.
Great.
Everything is set
Love
up
that.
in a very mystical fashion. Lots of the items are moving around the armors. Generally, that you see, they seem more animated. They move around, showing positions that they can get into. Some of the items that
Nice.
look like they would be heavy armor are moving into more poses that would be more for like a roguish character and a dexterous person. You wouldn't expect to see armors like that moving into it. Weapons that are firing at
my hand
targets,
out.
stuff like that.
Touch an armor. Will it take my hand? Act like it kisses it.
It would not. When you reach it out, you see it starts to kind of fit around your hand, like making a projection of itself to show you kind of what it would look like on you as you reach towards it.
Cool. That's actually
And
Nice.
then a very elegantly dressed person comes out from the back. Very like you would think almost pompous, but not. They're still kind of humble about everything, but they have their chin up, chest held high. A very soft-featured bugbear man.
Nice.
Braylor, this would be strange to you coming from Wildmount. Bugbears don't generally. They're not the type of creature that you would see in a shop or in a town.
Yeah. I will say, Braylor has seen and interacted with some sophisticated goblins before, so he's probably not too surprised.
Might have had a conversation
Right.
with a bugbear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he walks out and he says, that is a very nice piece of armor that you found there, miss. And asking your name,
Calypso.
Calypso. What armor would you have approached? Just the first one you see, or something specific?
Probably. Maybe like, I don't know, something that seems more full plate. Like maybe something that we're maybe looking for.
Okay.
Probably one of the closest ones to walking in.
Okay, yeah. So he walks over to it and he puts his, if you have your right arm out, he puts his left arm out next to the next one and you see it project onto him too. He says, "This is some of the most well-crafted plate armor that you can get in most of Alturas. Very, very finely crafted. This seems to be of a more hardened steel than most. It will amplify protections tenfold. At a price, of course. But is there anything you were specifically looking for? Or is this the one that you'd like to go with?"
I'm not the one getting the armor, so it's really up to his preferences, and I'll gesture to Braylor.
Mm-hmm.
But that's fine.
Brayler will kind of like shrug off the cloak that he has, and he shows the chainmail that he's wearing. I wish to have an upgrade in protection. That is my duties as a paladin.
Okay. He like walks around you a bit and he's like, "Yes, this will not do. This is weak, meager, poor design. I'm sure we can fit you
It
with
was
something
made
nice."
by people who had a very busy schedule, so it's
Oh, yes. I
reflects
understand.
that.
We have many plate mail that you'd be able to fit into. Our best is this one that your lady friend, Calypso, you said, was looking at. It will protect you the best that you could possibly be protected beyond normal plate standards.
If I gave you this chain, it can at least be used for its weight in metal, at the very
There's
least.
not much I could do with this. This is not my trade.
Mm.
I deal more in the mystic and the arcane. Standard
Right.
metals
Well,
like this one.
all right. Brayler will take patches off of his cloak of useful items, and he has 4 potions of healing on there, and he's going to offer those as well as 1,500 gold that they got. And be like, "This is my first offer."
If this is a serious offer, I would suggest going to the blacksmiths. This armor is not something to be tread on like this. Your potions to the alchemists and that gold can be used. I know there's a metal worker further into town.
Well, what is your counter offer?
For this
I can offer
specific
services as well.
plate, you'd be looking more around 18,000 gold for this.
How do I get 300 more gold? Dang.
18,000 or 1,800?
Oh wait, yeah, never mind. Never mind.
I was gonna say you have 17,000 gold.
He just has it put away. It's like,
If you gave me the rubies for what D&D Beyond had said, then yes, I would. But
yeah.
no.
If you're looking for
Sorry,
something
but
more
no knowledge of
affordable,
No, it was the rubies were originally listed in my inventory as 5,000 apiece, but Wyatt said they were not worth that. So,
you listen to
yes. Yeah.
if you're looking for something more affordable, we might have something in the back. We keep all of our
Yes.
higher objects on stand. It takes a
Of course.
tidy bit of concentration to keep them moving and catching to the eye. So,
And of course, I meant no insult. I am not one of the armor trade. I had no idea this value of this beautiful armor set.
yes,
Great.
yes, no offense taken. I will go and search for plate that is more fitting. I can't guarantee to find anything in that price range. You'd be looking closer around 2,000 to 2,500 gold for our cheapest set.
All right.
And when I find that, we'll go look into some robes for you. It seems you're more of a light armor wearer. And then he walks back to the back. Digs around for a while. And does come back out. He is wheeling a mannequin that has some plate armor on it. Definitely not as ornate, but it still looks better than just like a generic plate you'd see. He said, "This
Yeah.
is the only plate we have back there close to your price range, and it would be running 2,100 gold for this piece.
Mhm.
We might be able to make a deal if we throw in a robe of some sort, perhaps something to make you more nimble, more quick." Looking at you, Calypso. Or weaponry, I don't know.
I think Calypso's like kind of startled and like trying to process the fact of like, do I need this?
Grab me a
Oh
diaper.
yeah, that's probably a good idea. And then Calypso is gonna ask, is there anything that, along with the gold that we could give you, is there any sort of service that we could do for you to help in this trade?
I am a being of protection as well as healing. We can both offer healing in the need.
Healing is not something that I myself am in need of. If you were looking to trade, I always would be accepting larger beasts, blood, scales, teeth. They help in my enchantments that I need. If you have anything like dragon's blood or scales, eyes from beholders, things like that, I would be willing to trade.
Mm. Yes.
Or if you would like to go and hunt some down first, the armor will be here when you get back.
Let me consult my pack, and Brailer will turn it around and be kind of like ruffling through. Is there any chance that I would have had like Yeti furs? Would I have been delegated to carry those for 12 thorns? Because I know he got some.
I don't know. I think he most likely put them into the bag of many things.
Oh, that's right. Dang it. I forgot about that. I thought I was the pack mule. That's whatever. So yeah, there's nothing that I have in addition.
Calypso literally has nothing.
Yeah,
His hair.
I have an iron pot, but no monster stuff.
He just chuckled a little bit at that. Knows it's a joke.
Uh-huh.
Well, then 2,100. We could bargain if we have something else that Calypso would like to purchase. Or you can go and hunt down some big beasts. I know that we have some roaming the mountain ranges nearby, and in the caverns and the swamps, if you'd like to trade.
I will say that these healing spells run about 200 gold apiece. Wait, no, never mind. That's just how many you can stack in it. Never mind, I have no idea how much that potion of healing is. No, that's right, 200 gold piece for one potion of healing. So they're like pretty high quality potion of healing. Like this is always useful to have in the back pocket these
He
days.
just like taps a bag on his side, looks like a satchel. He's like, I'm well prepared for those myself. If you'd like to trade potions, we have our brewers nearby who sometimes purchase potions, but never for the full price.
Rayler will just desperately look at Calypso and be like, I don't know what to do.
So Calypso's gonna suggest, could you sell these potions to people who buy armor from you? Because wouldn't they be looking for something to protect themselves and then heal themselves? Would that be valuable to you?
I understand where you are all coming from with this, but if you are new to TideHaven, which it seems you may be, perhaps take a look outside in our square. Our next door neighbor, the shop over there, is a brewer's supply. If an adventurer needs potions, they'd go there before here. We serve more magical items, more things of enchantments in nature, nothing with potions,
Right.
If
sadly.
I were to buy something,
If you would like, perhaps you could sell your potions to the alchemist nearby. If you could get a good deal there, you may be able to pick up enough gold to purchase the armor.
Alright. Brayler's gonna run over to that potions while Calypso's still there. Just gonna try and sell these.
watch him run out the door.
Uh-huh.
And you said that you'd want to strike a deal if I were to buy something.
Yes, we have many
What did
things
you
that you
have in
might
mind?
like. cloaks that are less cumbersome than the armor that you're looking at, belts to make you more strong or dexterous, helmets to ward off spells and damage, things of that nature.
I will take a look.
Okay. As you are looking around, Braylor, you get to the shop. Brevity's sake, if you can roll a persuasion check for me, real quick.
Okay, come on, Braylor.
Be persuasive.
13. 13. Can I? Hold on. If I give myself bless. Oh, that's just attack roll or saving throw.
Nope.
Dang it.
You to give you some Bardic inspiration.
Whatever.
With that, you'd probably be able to sell the 3 potions in total. About
I had 4.
You had 4?
So,
You could probably get like 300 out of them.
Hey, that's exactly how much I need. So Brother's gonna immediately take that.
Perfect.
Wait, no, because that would bring me up to 1,800.
We need
Dang it.
6. We need 600.
Well, yeah. Brailer will. I guess Brailer will just take that because he isn't one for bargaining very well. So he'll just give those potions over and then run back.
Okay. You get back. Calypso's wandering around the shop looking at items. 300 gold. Still not quite enough. He would suggest if you have any other magic items that he might be interested in, any smaller monster parts that he might be able to purchase for less than what he usually does.
Do I still have that gold coin from the very first
No, you gave that to
adventure?
Portia.
I gave that away. That's right. I will offer the robe of useful items. I've taken everything off of it that I want, so.
What does it have on it still?
It has 2 daggers, a 10-foot ladder, lantern, a steel mirror, 10-foot pole, and 100 feet of rope just in it.
You show it to him. He takes it, he looks at it, sees the patches that are still on it. Probably makes a snarky comment about it not having any more gems or gold. And then asks how much you have, how much gold you have.
I have
1,800.
Yeah, Brit.
He says that if you throw in the robe of useful things with everything else it has on it, it will be just enough for you to get the plate.
I love that. It's great. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do that.
Okay. So he takes the robe of useful things and all the gold. Pulls out a little chest out of his bag, casts a spell on it. It turns into a big chest, and he throws both of the things into it. He doesn't throw it, obviously.
Yeah.
And then gives you your plate armor. You have plate now, Braylor, and it is.
Is it just
+1.
normal plate, or is it
Plus
plus?
1
Yes.
plate,
Yeah.
Love that.
which
All right,
probably
great.
sells, I would assume, for more than what I told you.
Yeah.
That's okay, you know.
That's fine.
I didn't want to look it
This
up.
guy was just being nice to us because he realized how much
Yeah.
money we do not have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think though with that, I think we're probably gonna end the stream early today.
All right.
With you getting your plate armor, meeting Bellamy,
Cool.
and now being ready to fight anything that you may need to fight at some point. Maybe go hunt down
Anything at all.
some big things to bring back to trade for more good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And well, actually, I guess Calypso, was there anything else that you were looking at specifically before you leave? Unless you don't have
Like,
any more
she
money.
literally has nothing. She has nothing. So she probably won't even bother asking. She's like, I'm not gonna trouble this guy any more than we already have.
In that case, as you guys are walking out, he tosses you a amulet. So just a little necklace. And says, that should make you a little harder to hit. And then you guys walk out. Yeah. It's just an amulet of protection. It gives you just a +1 bonus to your AC, that's all. And you guys leave Bellamy's shop, the Dragon's Lair, and fade out to black after the shopping
Right.
happened. So that
I will
was
say now, Braylor's AC is 22.
2. Yeah,
Pretty-
that's what I was.
Stoked for that.
Whew, that's gonna be fun.
Right. Anyway,
That's nice. Now, fully decked out, ever so slightly.
yes.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's already almost 10. We'll end there anyways. So, you prepare for whatever adventures you have ahead. Probably trying to find
Nice.
Teagle, mainly.
Yeah.
And then figure out what you want to do after that. I'm trying to think if there's something else that I've forgotten for this session. I don't think so.
All
I know
right.
there was something I was supposed to tell you guys, but I've forgotten it, so that's okay. Probably tell it next time.
Was it the bad news, or was the bad news that the guy just?
The bad
gave
news
us
was
our
the
300?
guys just trying to, yeah. If you guys would have rolled less
That's
intelligence, you would have been further away before you realized that you didn't get all of your money. That would have been
Nice.
sad. You
That's
wouldn't
great.
have had enough to get your plate armor.
Yeah, that would have been a bad time.
Thanks for watching. Thanks you two for playing, and thank you Bahana
course.
for joining us. Next time we'll be back with the other party far across the seas, somewhere that you guys do not know and will not know for a little
Dang.
bit.
It's awkward. Not even a hint? We don't get like a sneak preview of next week?
No.
Dang.
Nothing at all. I'll say
All right, whatever.
that they are fine. A small hint. They are trying to get on a boat. That's
Of
it.
course.
Yep.
Is it a boat that they have a right to get on, or is it they're trying to commandeer a boat? Because that sounds exactly like something they would do.
They have a boat that they could have a right to get on. Yeah.
Love
Key
that.
word there is could.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys just enjoy the rest of the day in the city life. Nothing pressuring you. High on life because you both got 2 new magic items. And
Yep.
we'll end the session there. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope that you all have
Sweet.
a wonderful day. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye.